Okay, is it
Hi.
working now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All
I'm
right,
outside.
alrighty, man.
Data on.
I told you. See, he listened to me. He listened
I'm
to
in
me. It's where
Florissant,
you
so I don't know
belong.
how this is
No,
gonna work, but
it's
We'll do it.
so Luke, go ahead. Ask your question. Let's
All right.
actually do the
So,
intro.
Augie, man, you're like a week out. June 21st in Quebec. How are you feeling, man?
I feel good, man. I feel really confident with the matchup and the fight. I feel nervous. I feel anxious. I feel scared. I feel excited. Um, there's so many emotions that go into a fight like this. Um, But overall, man, I'm just excited to witness it. I mean, I'm excited to watch it and watch it back and have the full experience of going out there, leaving the country, and fighting out of the country, and trying some new foods, seeing some new sights, meeting some new people, and just soaking it all up. And then like that next Monday, being back and being like, wow, holy shit, it's over. I did it.
Yeah,
Trying some
like
beaver tail, and then not what I talked about or what I thought it originally was.
Yeah, real beaver tail.
The real beaver tail.
Yes, grilled.
you only get the finest in Canada.
Yeah, you already know I got to get some beaver tail. I love my sweets. Me and Shorty both, we love our sweets. So after the fight, I need some beaver tail for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, and like so. I guess I kind of asked you. You got to try your Canadian foods and whatnot. So like, is the plan still? Are you gonna try to get back to Vegas as soon as possible, or what's gonna happen?
So I don't get the luxury of just booking my flights whenever and however. So they put me on a 12-hour layover in Toronto. I leave at 7 a.m. the next day after the fight. So the 22nd, I leave at 7. I'm in Montreal literally until that night. And then I go back to Las Vegas. So I'm gonna have a day, hopefully chilling in Toronto. That's the rough plan. If I'm not like in a wheelchair or a boot or something like that.
Knocking on wood for you.
Well,
It's yeah. At least you'll get to
Thanks.
enjoy the country, have some fun. Hopefully, you don't break a leg, just his, and you're able to go back to Vegas as soon as you possibly can, and hopefully stay ready because summer is coming. You have the UFC Contender Series there. You have all these last minute fights backing out. I mean, look at UFC 303, given obviously at a different level right now, but the fact is, there's always last minute opportunities, especially with UFC. They see a good win against a good opponent, or at least a veteran right there. It's like, this guy already fought and he's hopefully close to 100% as possible. He can, jump into the UFC or last minute bout.
Well, and that with that being said, it's like it's almost impossible to get in the UFC unless it's from Contender Series, Ultimate Fighter, or jumping on something short notice like that. So, I think that this fight opens those doors. I think that this fight opens up that door of the Contender Series, or it pushes me up in the line for sure. And with me being in Vegas and able to make weight at any time, then it makes me one of the most available guys to come in on short notice at 45 or 55.
definitely. And it's a shame that you didn't get on the Canadian card for Unified. I think it was Unified back in December or November. It was in Toronto, and they actually had a couple guys. Mind you, they were Canadian guys who were supposed to fight, and their fights got canceled. And that was the Dana White's looking for a fight. And I know a local guy from Windsor, Ontario. He was supposed to fight that night, and like unfortunately, his opponent fell out, and he was really pissed off. And he was like hoping I'm gonna get this big win. Hopefully, Dana's gonna see he's gonna like what he sees, and
Didn't
then
even
maybe
get
I
the
might get it.
fight.
And didn't even get to fight. So
Yeah,
for
that
you,
sucks.
it sucks that they didn't do like a looking for a fight. Especially with a promotion like this, like they're Samurai's really working their way up there, but I don't think they're on UFC Fight Pass. So
No, that they are on Fight Pass.
oh, they are. All right, I'm
Yeah, this
stupid.
show is going to be on Fight Pass. Their last couple have been on Fight Pass. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, the looking for a fight series. I mean, that's the stars got to align there. It's there's a handful of things that got to go into that with timing as well. So it is what it is. I mean, this is still a great opportunity any way that you slice it. It's the number one guy in Canada, the number one guy outside of the UFC right now at 145 pounds. And personally, I think it's a great matchup for me.
Yeah, and I agree too.
Now,
And
how
I
do
think,
you?
and
Oh,
sorry.
no, I was,
Oh,
I agree with I agree with both of you. The fact is, we talked about this, Augie, but I want to, obviously put it out to the public. How do you feel? Or how do you feel at the start of, man, this guy has, almost double the fights that you do, and you're also taking a big opportunity and a big promotion. You're going to a different country. Obviously, you've had some situations already happen leading up to the fight when it comes to last minute medicals and last minute things from the promotion. Um, how does it feel finally leaving the country to do something different? Something that's like, oh man, this is a fight.
Yeah, that is like the most exciting part. And I haven't had an opportunity to have a full camp and have like a really good fight like this with someone really highly competitive in my entire career. I think most of the guys that I did have camps for, I already had them seriously outmatched. And then the really tough fights that I've had, I've come in on short notice. So for me, it's just exciting to get to have a full camp with a team like Extreme, training with guys like you and Julian and fucking, Anthony and Jaquani's been helping me out for this camp. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Arthur Duflo, our guy, Biagio Ali Walsh, Baloney, having the whole squad. Um, and being able to like emulate him and also have people that I think are better than him and just try and grow and do my best and put together the best, game plan / performance that I'm going to be able to put together, I think, for this guy at this time period in my life. That's like the most exciting part of it, just going out there and competing and seeing where the chips fall.
Yeah,
Do you
and
think
also,
that being in this camp, do
no,
you think that being in
okay,
this
you go,
camp, I'm
one more
sorry, I'm
time.
sorry.
I get my
I'm
question
sorry,
next. Come
I'm
on.
excited. I'm excited. All right, you got that. Excited. All right. No, do you think that this camp, because you have such a higher level opponent in this case, and now that you have a full camp, that you've been more, I guess, in tune of like, I need to do this in camp. I can't skip certain things. I have to be focused because if not, it's going to be probably a much harder time than what I even expect.
For sure, 100%. You know that feeling. This fight really gets me up in the morning. His last fight was a devastating head kick knockout. He sets it up perfectly with the hands. Guy slips outside with his hands down. Boom. Head kick knocks him out in like 45 seconds, and the dude was sleeping for like 5 minutes after. And that's not something that I take lightly. That's that kid was pretty decent too, and this dude has so much experience. Like dealing with more veterans at Extreme Couture, you start to learn how important that experience really is. So that's not something that I take lightly whatsoever. But I do know I do have my advantages as well, and I really have to fight towards those advantages and not give them too much respect. But obviously can't go out there and fight stupid. I gotta treat them like a veteran. But yeah, man, those things all wake me up in the morning. Those things get me going, and it has that scare of how dangerous that he can be and how good he is what has been a huge driving force for creating such a solid camp for this fight, for sure.
And like in addition, what you were saying before, I mean, you win this fight, and there's a good chance, with everything going on with the UFC and whatnot. I think with the style that you, oh my god,
He'll be
we
back.
lost him.
He'll be back.
Oh
He'll be back. Oh, hey,
no!
He's back. He's
yeah.
back. As soon as I have my question,
It wasn't even cutting out or anything at all. It just went
He
blank.
he
man,
never
the
What
left.
MMA
the
He was
gods
here the
fuck?
don't.
whole
The,
time.
the, M- I was gonna say the MMA gods do not want me to ask a fucking question anymore.
God damn.
But no, but I will say. So, I was gonna ask. I mean, when I interview you, you talked about like how like looking at you and then looking at him about how he kind of comes in the fight later on, and you like to have that fresh start. I mean, your resume speaks for itself, and you talked about before how how this could be a good setup for a possible entry to the UFC potentially. I just think that like with the style that you bring and the skills you possess, I feel like an exciting factor that you bring in, I can only imagine that you do have a really good shot.
Yeah, and honestly, you know, I think win or loss, it moves me. This fight moves me up the ladder because this is sort of a lose fight for him. He needs to win this fight. He's got more fights than me. I'm like the 184th ranked lightweight in North America. He's number one. So, this is a fight that he's supposed to win. This is not a fight that I'm supposed to win. It really doesn't set me back if I go out there and I stumble. But with that being said, I'm just going to go out there and I'm going to fight my best fight that I can and do the best that I can. And, I'm going to try to have a great performance. I'm not really too set on the result itself. I'm not set on I have to win this fight. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fight my ass off. I'm going to do the stuff that I train. And, whether that result comes or it doesn't come, I'm going to grow and I'm going to get a lot better from this fight. And, it's going to lead to me becoming a much better fighter for sure. Either way.
Yeah, and you know what though, man, we've been asking all these serious questions, but I want to ask you, and I'm sure he knows this, but I just want to know,
Uh-oh.
like, I want to get to your roots here. Like, what kind of drove you to get into MMA in the first place?
Oh, I was just it was all by chance. I was an athlete and then I wasn't playing any sports at the time. And I was just riding bikes with my friends and we just happened to ride by Old Domain MMA and I looked inside and there was like a cage and a boxing ring and like some mat space and I was like I had seen UFC. I grew up watching Pride, grew up as a boxing fan, watching all the great boxers out of the 90s. And my dad was a huge fight fan. And then, then rolled up on the gym, saw it, and I was like, what the hell? People really do this stuff in this town? And then called the number, went in and trained that weekend. And then that was it, man. The bug bit me.
And you know what though, and I feel like because the at the time that you started your career, was there like a certain fight that really kind of inspired you, or you watch that fighter that you look at this guy and think, oh shit, like it made you want to get into it?
I actually do.
Look at this guy up there. He's
Right.
like giving the cues. Come on.
Me and Shorty are almost the exact same age. So I can't even like give you one of his early fights.
You want that Team Shorty sponsorship? Oh God, no.
It was Shorty Torres and some amateur. I forgot his name. I don't think he fights anymore.
most of
Back
them
first
don't.
round to IMAF. No. Really, it was. I can remember it was right after I first started training. Minotauro Noguera and Big Nog and what's his name, Heath Herring. They had that
Yeah.
crazy back and forth war, and that one was like, wow, this is a crazy sport. Like that one really started to get me into it. And then I can remember Lyoto Machida versus Rashad Evans was one of the first pay-per-views I watched from beginning to end, and I can remember that knockout, and I was like, wow, this is really different than what it used to be. And then just from there, I've just been fanboying ever since.
What about you, Shorty?
What first fight that time? Well,
No,
see,
sorry.
my whole lifestyle is very different. So I don't even like fighting. I just got into it. But one of the fights I do enjoy is none of Josh's. It's of Benavidez versus Miguel Angel Torres in WEC.
Great fight.
Because it was just such a small dude fighting a super long, lanky guy, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be. And Miguel was like the thing of the thing. Like he was Uriah Faber before Uriah Faber, and then
Yeah.
Benavidez came out of nowhere and just destroyed him. It was like, wow, this small guy's doing this. I could do the same thing. And eventually, I started wrestling and stuff like that. So, I've known Augie. When did you join St. Charles? Is that 2012?
So, like a year or two after I started training at that gym Domain, they merged with St. Charles MMA. So I want to say like 2011.
So I went down to McKendree, which is like O'Fallon, Illinois, which is like a border town to St. Louis. And, this gentleman here is not too far from that. And we ended up both training at the same place at the same time. And that's just kind of how we, met each other, punched each other, stuff like that. And then, we just people in the gym. We knew each other, very small talk, pretty simple because I never stayed around. And then years later, I'm training with TJ Dillashaw in Colorado, and I jump in the gym at Dwayne Ludwig's, and I don't know where I just see Augie like bowing in and stuff like that. I'm like, "The hell are you doing here?" And we're just like, "Hey, again, small talk, nothing too crazy." And then years later, we end up at Rufus Sport in Wisconsin. I'm just like, "Dude, what the hell?" Okay, this is random. And then years later, I go to Vegas, and he's like, "Dude, I just moved here. You want to grab lunch?" And then we had a bunch of stuff happen in our lives to where we just somehow trauma bonded, and it was a great thing possible. And it was just like, "Oh, dude, All right, let's help each other out. Let's have some fun. Do you want to punch each other in the face again? Let's go do it. Let's go. You want to do karate in the garage? Come on.
I was just gonna say that. It's like Step Brothers. Are we best friends? Yep.
Yeah. It's like, dude, you got problems too? Oh yeah. Look.
Yeah, no, you just like basically came out with the origin story. Like I don't know, for myself, like obviously I'm not a fighter, but like I did Shotokan for fucking since I was like, I don't know, 11, and I got my black belt when I was like 16, 17. And for me, um so I'm gonna be honest, I didn't get into all the pride and all that. Like I knew what pride was. I kind of saw a little bit, but I actually got right into the UFC, got into Anderson Silva, and he was like the thing because my sister really liked him. She's like, "Luke, you gotta watch this shit. It's awesome. There's people fighting." I was like, "Oh, I don't want to watch WWE," and she's like, "No, this isn't WWE, Luke. This is like real fighting. This is like people getting hurt, like people getting knocked out." And I was like, and at the time, I don't think I had the appreciation. I was like, I don't know, like this is all bullshit. She's like, "No, watch this guy Anderson Silva. You gotta watch him. He's like." The way he moves, like it's crazy. And she lived in Brazil for years. That's all you saw around at that time. And she went there when she was like 16. And then years later, she's let me know. She's like, yeah, you gotta watch this shit. So I finally watched it, and the guy just drew me in. And he was like one of those first guys I watched. I was like, wow, this shit's amazing. Making everybody else look like what the fuck, like making everyone else look like they had no business
Yeah.
fighting him. And yeah, and I think he was the first guy. But then, and Augie brought up a guy, Machida there, and because it was good for me because he actually had the style that I trained for,
Yeah,
the very
karate
open
style.
square stance, and with leading out with the front snap kick a lot. And yeah, and I really enjoyed that. So I think those two guys really, ironically, both from Brazil, and yeah, it was just really cool. And I think those are the guys that kind of drew me into the sport. And then obviously got into other different promotions. But yeah, and I just I have the love for it. I have everything but love for the sport, and that's why I do what I do and why I come on and work for MMA Unhinged.
I don't know if I'm biased or not, but I think that Anderson Silva's
You
middleweight
are.
run was the best championship run in the UFC. Like I think he's the GOAT personally, just by style points. Like the way he did it, like he was just so far ahead of his time. And yeah, he was my first favorite MMA fighter that I had that was like, wow, this guy's unbelievable. Cuz like that time period from like before the Chael fight, like that whole time period, whenever he was just smashing everybody, was crazy. Like whenever he front kicked Vitor, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else. I mean, Marquardt, like the list goes on and on. Henderson, like he just had such a crazy run.
If obviously you've been in this journey for a pretty long time. What's somebody that you've got to train with that you used to watch, whether in UFC, Bellator, whatever these promotions that you're like, dude, I can't believe I'm training with this guy.
Uh, Shit, that's a good question. I'm trying to think.
Ah, I got one.
Yeah,
I got
good
one.
question. Good question. You want to go first, and then I'll go after you because I
Shorty's
gotta
just
take.
like jumping out of
He's gonna
seats. Like
piggyback.
we got to talk,
He's he's gonna pick. Oh, dude, I'm
No,
ADHD. I'm
I'll
like
probably go
this.
TJ because I was super into TJ, and I think he was at like the pinnacle of the sport like during his reign. And then you and I were out there and like got to see it firsthand, like how amazing his work ethic was, and where he was at that time. I think it was probably TJ for me
Well,
still.
for me, I got to, I was John Lineker for TJ Dillashaw. And for people who don't know all the stories, the rumors, whatever the case may be, TJ, at least while sparring, is an asshole. Like, he is trying to kill you. But that's just how he is. That's how he fights. He's very competitive. If you hit him hard, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna hit you back." And he's just one of those guys that needs to win. Joanna Young Jacek's the same way. I know other champions or former champions that
Yeah.
are literally they just hate losing, but that's also the drive. Patchy Mix is the same way. He hates losing. You choke him out or do any type of submission, the next time he's gonna do it 3, 4 times on you. But with TJ, yeah, man, he was just coming back. He lost the belt from Dominic Cruz. He was going to fight John Lineker, and for me, I just won a belt, and he helped me defend it for the first time. And literally, I remember doing 2 months with TJ helping him for Lineker. He fought, and then my fight got pushed back. I ended up fighting, and so I got more training with him. And I was just like, dude, this guy is 19-2, UFC veteran, but he's slow. Wow, he's gonna stand right in front of me. Oh man, this is awesome. And I just felt so fast. I felt so safe and secure, but it was also because of the hard sparring with Tia Dillashaw. So after it was just like, dude, I'm sparring with a former UFC champ, soon to be champion again, and it makes me feel good to say like I was able to be part of that camp to have him beat all these guys and eventually win the belt back and just stay a part of his team after that. So it was cool, man. It's like you said, TJ, and just that whole Colorado experience. Besides the altitude, it was definitely a cool time and it was fun. It was very different from at least what him and I are used to in St. Louis.
Yeah, for sure. It was a real culture shock for sure, and seeing how that they had clearly been building that, like, kind of his system for years. So, and we kind of got to see like the back end of it. So seeing that kind of greatness already, like, unraveling, that was really cool to see. I mean, there's a lot of that going on at Extreme right now, but I think that you and I are both so like engulfed in it that it's just almost, it's like, that's just practice. That's just Patchy. That's just Sean. Like, that's just whoever, it's
Well,
like,
the cool things, at least for me now, is some people know my resume. I might not be this UFC fighter, Bellator champion, whatever the case may be, but like Patchy, him and I trained at the same place, just so happened to be at different times. And he's like, dude, I knew about you before you were in UFC. I knew about you before you went to Brave. He goes, I used to watch your fights. I'm like, really? Dude, that's freaking awesome. Or when Kobe was trying to get a fight against Kamaru Usman, he's walking around with his belt on media day. He's like, dude, Shorty Torres, 2-time NFC champ, this, that. I was just like, dude, this is awesome, And then he's
that's
like, hold on,
hilarious.
camera's on. Kamaru Snoozman, I want the fight. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great, So it's cool to be recognized for all the stuff you do, even though you might not be at their level. Just being able to say you're getting there, and those guys that kind of encourage you to lift you up. So hopefully you can pass them up one day, or even worse is worse, get at their level is phenomenal, man. Extreme.
Yeah.
I think honestly, and maybe you could attest to this too, Josh, is everyone, it's not that they're humble, it's just everyone's so helpful. Like, people want to help.
Yeah.
People actually go out of their way to help. Oh, dude, you got a camp? Let me know. If I can help you, I'll be here this day. If I can make it, I'm more than happy to do this. And these are like known names, and they just want to come help for free. And it's like, oh, what do you want? For free? This is different. I feel like it's a trap.
Well, it's like a community thing, because they're going to want
Yeah.
your help whenever they need your body style, whenever it comes to their camp. And then so whenever it's your turn and you're similar to their body style, okay, well then now you're in that place. And that's something that I'm looking forward to, is getting right back into the gym after this fight and just helping guys out and doing what I can, and just staying ready for whatever's next.
Yeah, punching Bellini in the face.
There you go.
Shorty will be back. I owe him some lick.
And Josh is gone. There you go. I guess he'll be some licks, like deuces. That's St. Louis tornado. Is the St. Louis tornado coming through? Dude, you look like
is a storm coming. Yeah.
You look like the guys.
You guys are talking. I'm looking at the lightning. I'm like,
dude, you were in the shadow right now. You look like those guys in the FBA. You look like the guys in the FBA stuff. They're like, yeah, so P. Diddy, he did do this stuff behind the scenes. I saw all of it. But you're all in the shadow. You can't see it. Yeah.
Or like the Drugs Inc. or whatever that show's called.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Actually, what you guys were talking about and brought up a really good point. And a lot of times, and this reminds me, because a lot of Canadian fighters I've talked about, I talked about how, like, with the MMA, or the Canadian MMA community seems so small but so big. Like, when you guys talk about, everyone helping each other, it seems like the whole worldwide MMA community seems so big. There's so many different gyms and so many places, but it seems like everybody knows who, because at the end of the day, whether people are fighting each other, talking shit, whatever, at the end of the day, everyone's there to help each other, because that's what you do. And I think that's such an awesome thing. And I think it's great, because like you guys talk about guys that like are over here and here and here, and you're here and you're here. And I just think that it's awesome to just see how much relationships you can build just because you're there to help each other at the end of the day.
Well, I think it's actually a really small community. It's just the sport is growing, so like the media makes it look a little bigger than what it is. But like, it's actually a fairly small community. Like, kind of everyone is, you can know someone through one or two people pretty easily.
Yeah, it's crazy, because most people, as long as you ask, the majority are willing to help. There's going to be a handful of people that have their reasons why they can't help, and you got some guys that literally have no reasons. Like, dude, if you're not helping me, I don't care. Get out of here.
That's Shorty right there.
Oh, that's 100% me. I'm like, Josh, I'm good, dude. But I'm gonna stay in your house for free.
Like, dude, give me round 1 and get the fuck out of my cage.
Yeah, this is like that, dude. You're no good after round 1. So I'm like, yeah, skedaddle, buddy, skedaddle.
Well
Go
played,
with
well
the
played.
guys. Go with the guys on the mat right down there on the other side of the mat.
Another thing I wanted
That was a good one.
one thing I really wanted to bring up is MMA and movies, and I meant to bring this up on well, technically this week. This will be for next week, but for this week's, I wanted to bring it up in how, like, obviously there's been MMA or fighting, like boxing, whatever, movies that have been out, but you see, like, there's a new generation. Like, I think there was that one that came out last year or two. It was with Halle Berry, and they had Shevchenko come in there as, like, playing her, like she played like the antagonist, I believe. And it was kind of cool to see all these MMA fighters coming in and doing these. Oh shit!
Oh, where
Are you
you
cutting out?
got? It's probably Eric. Is it Eric? Am I
No,
right?
yeah, I'm listening. It is.
Yeah, see, it's Eric. Eric
Yeah.
is one of the guys that live there, and he just comes out of nowhere all the time. He's like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" We're like, dude, come on."
Like,
But I was saying was it's cool to see how, like, because you were talking about how the MMA is becoming such a worldwide huge sport. Like, you didn't just have the guys who are just fucking bleed, just bleed. No, you're having like everybody. Like, you're having like every single kind of person coming out watching, because you're seeing these guys coming out with personality and making it exciting and doing a lot of great things. And now you're starting to see the movies pick up on it. Like, I brought up the one about Halle Berry and Shevchenko there, and then I think they're coming out with a new one. It's gonna be it's like a biopic, I don't know what you call it, biopic, bio-op. It's gonna be on the one on Mike or Mark Kerr, and Dwayne Johnson's gonna play him. And I saw the first photo of
wow,
it,
that's
and
crazy.
it looks fucking phenomenal,
Yeah,
man.
it looks very different. Like it's almost unrecognizable.
I was like, that ain't
Wow,
Dwayne
that's
Johnson.
crazy.
Well, if you look at him closely, yeah, it's Dwayne Johnson, obviously. But you look at it first glance, I was like, no, that ain't him. And he's got fucking hair, so that's even more crazy.
Well, I mean, the sport is just growing rapidly, honestly. Like, I mean, I'm sure Shorty can tell you, whenever him and I were still amateurs, I know my family and friends and stuff were like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what? Like, I don't understand. Like, where does this go? Like, why are you doing this? And now it's like this cool, like, mainstream, like, popular kind of thing. Like, it's really, really changed. I can remember whenever, whenever like people were really like struggling to like get it into other states, and like John McCain was like calling it human cockfighting and shit. Like, that seems like yesterday to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the sport is just gonna be insane in a few years. Like, the kids at like 10th Planet Henderson here, like they have
Las
a
Vegas,
kids
yeah.
program where the like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 year olds are like shooting shots, doing backflips. They're like doing all perfect technique, like drills, like leg entries and shit. And it's just like, at a certain point, it's going to be like every other sport where it's like, if you weren't fighting, if you weren't competing at a very young age, you're never going to be able to catch up. But it's going to be like football, basketball, baseball. Like, you're not going to be able to just hop into, baseball your freshman year and, go to the big leagues unless you're some kind of fucking super freak. It's gonna the sport is going to continue to rapidly grow.
Well, you look at the IMAF. They're doing like pancreation fights for anyone 17 and under.
Oh, I
And
didn't
you
know
have
that.
little
That's
kids
wild.
like 12 years old. They're world champions at 17 and under. I don't know the
Wow.
exact brackets of age groups, but they have a youth world championships now. And again, it's a process to try to get the sport into the Olympics because you need to involve the youth as well. But you have,
Right.
like Josh is saying, kids throwing flying arm bars, and even when you go to Dopamine at 10 Planet Henderson, like you got kids my size, given they're like 10. They're like, dude, Shorty, let's roll. And me, I'm an asshole. So I'm like, dude, you're my size. I'm intimidated. I gotta stand my ground. So I beat them up. But when I see them go with other people, like they're jumping around, they're doing these crazy things, and they're having a lot of fun. And they accept that they're going with adults. They know they're gonna lose, so they're
Yeah.
trying more and more stuff for the fun of it, just to
Yeah.
see if it works. And it really is a crazy thing. And I think Josh is right to where you look at almost weekly. PFL's tonight. PFL again is on Friday. You have 2 boxing fights or 2 big boxing events this Saturday. You have the UFC, I believe, as well this Saturday, or if not the following week. You have almost an event every single week in some type of combative sport. Like MMA, especially, has picked up. You even have influencer boxing now, not just regular boxing. Like we have everything. Combatives is taking over the world. So not just MMA, but I mean MMA is so huge to where most people now are getting. No, I'm not saying most, but can make a decent living for the most part. Doing this full time. Compared to back in the day. I mean, how many people were still working their full time jobs, or at least versus work part-time job? I mean, what was it? Rich Franklin was talking about. He was a school teacher, fought for the belt, did this, did that, and then went back to being a school teacher, and then eventually went to ONE FC to become one of the presidents or something like that, So, or look at our good friend Joshua Sampo. That St. Charles got into the UFC, fought, his contract. He was a teacher, quit. And then eventually, once he left the UFC, he's like, all right, well, I got to go back to the UFC. But that was also like 10 years ago, a little bit more, so it's really, really evolved in that time.
Yeah. And I think too, like social media has also helped with that as well. Like it's no secret when you have like and I mean, we're talking about any organization. Like I was just watching the PFL tonight. I don't want to bring it up too much because the event's still going on. But there was one fight where, and it doesn't have to be like the biggest knockout, or it doesn't, but it's just crazy shit that you don't see every day. Like there was the one, I think they might have been heavyweight guys. I don't know who they were, but it was 2 guys, and the guy meant to throw overhand, and the guy kicked the guy in the nuts at the same time. And
he got dropped, and
he got dropped, and the guy dropped because he got hit in the nuts. I mean, like that sucks. He almost had him. So it's just when you have social media giving fighters platforms, even if it's not the best moments, you're still getting out there, and that's what I think has also helped push the sport along as well. Is the social media, and I think. And the more people see it, the more they can't just go rent a they can't just go rent a VHS of, this and this and this. Now you just have it everywhere. And that's what I think what the sport of MMA wanted is, and all these organizations wanted is, when you get those highlight reels, that's why they're shoving it out there, or stuffing it out there, because they know people are going to tune in and be like, holy shit, man, do you see that? You're like, what's that? Like, what's PFL? And then, and then that's how you get people into it. And I just think it's great. And I think it's great for fighters like yourself to have that kind of platform and be able to do that.
Tell Eric I said hi.
That was crazy.
Eric, Shorty says hi.
Hey, Shorty.
Where you guys going?
We're going to go to Texas Roadhouse.
Coincidentally, I'm
really bad.
Oh my gosh. So this is how you know Josh is very popular and famous. He does his interviews on the road. He's always on the go. He's ready for that next level.
I gotta, baby.
He says, McGregor who? I'll fight Chandler. That's exactly what he told me before the interview. He'll step in last minute, but only if he has time.
I don't think Michael will take it.
I think
he's running scared.
I don't think Michael will take it either. He seems like a very busy man, and he's probably lifting some weights or doing some backflips somewhere.
Make it a 5-round fight. Just get through the first 2 rounds, or knock him out in the first, and then take him out in the 3rd round.
So ask Eric, if Eric was gonna fight someone, who would he fight?
Eric, who would you fight if you could fight someone?
Don't say Mike Rogers.
This is how the interview starts.
I
would beat the fuck out of. Let me see. I don't know. That's a hard question, man.
Biden.
Oh my god! I like how you're just whispering in the back.
Eric said he would beat the fuck out of Biden.
I hope he would be able to. I mean, a little push might be able to do it, but you never know.
A big looping punch at him though, and falling down and TKOing himself on the fall.
I could also see that, sadly.
Well, it's okay.
So,
maybe just
you never know. He could land though, and to really take Biden out.
No, I'll go Rambo style. I'll go hide up like they did to JFK.
He said he'll go hide up like they
Oh
did.
my
to
gosh.
Okay, so let's not put that one in. Let's go ahead and cut that.
We'll just bleep this whole good 5-minute part just quiet. All you see is
And I'm no longer getting into Canada.
yeah, and he's done. Luke, if you were going to fight someone, is there anyone that entered the UFC that you're like, dude, I can take him. I can 100% take him. I have no worry.
Fucking take anybody. You can take anybody. You know what? No. You know what? Let's say if I had all the skills, I had the same matchup, or I had nothing to lose, and they said you could fight anybody in your weight class, which I think I'd probably be fighting if I was in better shape, if I was in tip-top shape. And I'd probably be fighting at 135 maybe, because I'm not that much bigger than you.
Oh,
Shorty.
he's coming for you, Shorty.
Oh shit! I gotta start dropping weight.
No, but seriously, well, because I probably, if I was in tip-top shape in the size that I am, I'm not that much bigger than Shorty. Shorty, what are you? 5'6", 5'7"?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I
He's
really do
sizing you up.
appreciate it. Yeah, he says I'm 5'7". Oh, he's so sweet, dude. Thank you. Like, I send me your address. I'm gonna mail you a present. That was so sweet of you. I'm 5'4". Let's not talk about it.
No. But seriously, because in the weight class, I'd probably be 125, 135. I love to do Figueiredo. I don't know what it is, because if I get knocked out by him, I wouldn't feel 1 ounce bad. I feel kind of good if I get knocked out by a guy like him. Figueiredo, or I don't want to do Sean O'Malley because he's way too intimidating.
It's very colorful. Yeah. It's a very intimidating thing. You never know what's gonna happen in that type of fight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, 125, 135. Yeah, I probably Figueiredo. I really like Figueiredo, and I think that'd be a fun, but he's really fast. Yeah, shit, I don't know.
Just beat up like Mackenzie Dern or something.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Talking about the whole Biden thing, you might as well just go to the other side and go fight Mackenzie Dern, dude.
Yeah,
worse is worse than paycheck.
Yeah, I would say I could probably take out the whole strawweight division at once.
Of
fight circuit, set it up.
Yes, the fight circuit, set it up.
Are you seriously going to go head to head with the Chinese champion there?
Who?
Zhang Weili.
Exactly. Who? No.
Zhang Weili.
Who? Yes, exactly. Who?
I was trying to be respectful here, man. Come on.
Josh gets hit in the head way too much by me, but I get it. Okay. All right. So you would fight.
Hold on though. Be real. Have you ever actually landed a punch?
On who?
Me. Like one? You've landed one before?
I've landed. That was a really good one.
I don't remember you even landed one. To be
honest. Was a really good one. If you don't remember, that's how you know it was a good one.
I'm just fucking with you. Shorty's all right.
Dude, whoever is that Gabe in the back whispering? Dude, you could just hop in the interview.
The Hebrew Hammer.
Appreciating your comment of that's how you know it's a good one.
Yeah, exactly. I appreciate you, Gabe. You know, we need a background audience of like clapping. You know, put both hands on the wheel. But yeah, there you go. Oh my god,
laugh.
Yeah, just laugh.
Just want to thought Luke, 3 Musketeers, now we got the 4.
Oh no, we have everyone. So Luke, quick question. Yeah. How does it feel to be the oddball in this conversation of 4 random individuals, or excuse me, 2 individuals and 2 added individuals, and you're just like, I have no clue what's happening.
Bro, it's my entourage. I'm a rock star now. I gotta have additional people yelling shit out in the background. You
got your driver, you got your bodyguard.
Watch this. All right, start to ask a question. Watch me go real famous. Guys, shut the fuck up back there. I'm doing a motherfucking interview. Shut the fuck up. All right, sorry, guys. What was the question again? My bad. I had to tighten the cooler.
I love Eric's laugh in the background. Hey, Eric, do you got your seatbelt on, man? Please, that's safety first.
Eric liked it. He's like, yeah, yell at me some more.
I don't think the guy's my face.
All right, so Gabe is a fighter in the car as well, and then you have Eric, who can probably take everyone in the car. But it's definitely
all 4 of us at once, honestly.
It's a no homo.
We love Josh.
Yeah, we won't say Josh. We love him. The fuck out.
And we love Shorty. We love
So,
everyone.
Luke, your turn to ask a question. I want to see where this goes.
Okay. All right. Here's just a fantasy question right now. If you had to, okay, if you had, let's say you're walking down the street, you got your entourage, which you do, and say let's say you had to have the backup. What would be 3 fighters right now? It can be male or female. You would have your back, and say you're gonna get jumped by some crazy fan, and the guy's really, really good, and you know you need that backup. Who would you take with you?
I'm taking John Jones, Brock Lesnar, and since it's a third one, we'll just switch it up. We'll go co-ed. We'll take a female because you said female, and
Yeah, we gotta have that female empowerment, man. Come on.
Well, just in case of a girlfriend comes up. If a girlfriend comes up, you know, you throw the chick in. I'm gonna get Cyborg for her.
Jesus.
There you go.
Jesus. Is it bad that the whole time I'm like, when you're like, yeah, you know, we need equal rights. I'm going to go for a female. Shorty. Shorty's going to be part of my team. We're like,
I should have.
I was
Actually,
waiting
you know
for
what?
it, honestly.
No, Augie, no. Okay, so I actually have a legit question for you, and it is real. Does
No, he doesn't want to hear it. He doesn't want to hear it at all.
He backed out.
His
back,
entourage said no.
He's
His
back.
entourage
Okay.
said no to the serious question.
No, but no, seriously, like I think, like I'm sure I'm not the first one, but has people told you that you look like Justin Gaethje?
Yes, I've had many people tell me that I look like Justin Gaethje. Whenever I first moved out to Vegas, I went to a Raider game with a friend, and they had really good seats, like these sweet seats, and then you could go down on the field, like at the 50-yard line. There's a little section you can stand at, and so I was down there, and I was standing by the bar, and this guy came up to me, and he's like, "Hey, man, you know, blah blah blah." Started talking to me about MMA, and he's like, "Yeah, I just started put my daughter in at Syndicate, you know, da da da." And I was just being cool with him. I'm like, "All right, right on, man, cool, yeah, that's a good gym, sweet." And then I started walking. I was like, "Hey, man, yeah, good to meet you." And he's like, "You're Justin Gaethje, right?" And I was like, No, I'm not." He's like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "All right, see you, brother."
You know what, man? It's like, Justin Gaethje. Haven't you gotten
posted on Facebook?
Haven't you gotten Oliveira before too?
What's that?
Haven't you gotten like Charles Oliveira before too?
I've gotten Charles Oliveira. I've gotten Dan Hooker. I've got
Dan Hooker. I could see that
Gaethje a lot. I've gotten Gaethje a lot though.
How the fuck do you get Charles Oliveira? I
It's-
don't see
Whenever
it.
it's the fresh blonde
It's
hair.
the blonde
It's
hair.
the body type.
But
like,
he
it's an
doesn't have the beard,
in-person
though.
thing.
That's what I think.
It's an in-person thing. Yeah, whenever I have the fresh blonde hair and I'm like tall and lanky. But it's like pre-tattooed Oliveira.
That's fair.
Yeah, and then you see him rolling on the ground. You're like, yeah, that's not Charles Oliveira. That's not him at all.
You know, at least it's not as bad
Mr.
as a reporter getting somebody wrong on a UFC press conference where they thought that some other fighter was Robbie Lawler, and Dana White had to call their ass out. You ever see that video?
No, I've never seen that.
Oh, I don't know which fighter it was. I mean, this was like years ago, right? So I don't even know if the guy was in the UFC, but someone said, "Oh, so what do you think?" Like, asked a question for Robbie Lawler, and he's like, "You thought this was fucking Robbie Lawler?" and you gotta just feel bad for that journalist. But I don't know, like, I mean, journalists make mistakes. I know I've made mistakes in my life, but
Dana's savage with the comebacks, though.
He does, and he's like he's the weirdest dude when he gets mad too. Like, he gets mad at the weirdest shit, but it's almost like it is justified.
Yeah, he's pretty straightforward. Like, he's like, he's not gonna let you off the hook, but he's just like kind of very neutral. Like, he seems to really do his shit and just be focused on his business.
Have you, like, Augie, like you've done so many? I know you've probably done like 1,000 interviews for this upcoming fight. People ask you probably the same generic questions. But like, have you had someone in the past that's interviewed you, or like someone that's done it where you're kind of like, man, he just put his ear right up to the phone. Look at those cauliflower ears.
Dude, what are you guys driving through? Are the windows
We're in a
open?
fucking thunderstorm, dude.
Oh, thunder. Okay.
So hard.
All right. But like, have you ever had someone that's asked a really stupid question, and then you're like kind of you have to answer the question in the interview, but you're like, yeah, like you're kind of like,
I
yeah.
can't say any names,
No,
obviously,
don't say any
but
names.
I will
It's all
say
good.
I've had people that will ask me questions and then answer it. Like I'll answer it, and then they'll answer it for me and tell me why they are right. And you're just like, okay. And then they ask another question and do it again. You're just like,
Cool.
all right. For like 30 minutes, you're like, all right, cool. See ya. Thanks for
It
the
sounds like
promotion.
Well,
it sounds like you're talking with Gabe.
I do talk with Gabe. That is the thing with Gabe. But no, I was referring to an actual journalist.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yes. Gabe definitely is not a journalist.
But like
No,
I
far
find
from
like
it.
for
He is a
myself,
scholar, though. Technically.
He is a
the thing
scholar.
is, I find the biggest thing is I've had some where I remember I asked a fellow journalist. I asked him a question, something about because I was going to interview someone that he's interviewed before, and man, I was nervous as fuck. And this is when I first started. It was Johnny Walker, and this is when I started out with my own
Nice.
outlet and all that before I joined MMA Unhinged. And I asked the guy something about like, oh man, like because I kind of chat with him on and off because he was working, he was doing his own thing, and I said to
Yeah.
him, I asked him, I said, is there any questions I could ask for? Like, I could ask him that, that you've asked him. Man, I'm really nervous. And I feel like if I come a little bit more prepared, mind you, this is when I first started out and this was during COVID. And he said something like, well, that's not really my problem. And, you need to figure it out. And I get that. Like, obviously you don't
Damn.
want to you don't want to steal
That's
anybody's
savage.
material. But all I asked was like, I just need, what are some good questions that you've asked him? Because again, I'm nervous and I think I was overthinking it. And he's like, well, no, it's not really my problem. You need to figure it out. And rightfully so. I will come up with my own. I just want a general idea what you're asking him. And he's like, well, sorry, man, I can't really help you out. Like that's, I got myself to take care of. And I was like, okay, fuck you then. Like all, and it
Well,
was just,
damn.
Yeah.
Johnny
Yeah,
Walker.
it's
Rude.
sadly a
Did
process.
he? Sorry, you go ahead, Shorty.
No. That was a guy he was asking that was a guy he was talking about to ask questions to Johnny Walker.
yeah, no. It
Johnny
wasn't Johnny
Walker's cool
Walker.
so far, but it was.
No, that wasn't.
Don't worry, he
No.
doesn't want to listen.
I got you.
No, it wasn't Johnny Walker.
Hi,
Actually.
welcome back. This is the Shorty Torres show with Luke and Augie.
Augie.
You guys got to put little commercial breaks in there.
Yeah, I have like
We got to put tons of commercial breaks in here.
I know.
This is also not. We don't promote cannabis. We don't promote Gatorade bottle. Let's see. What else? We
No, we
got?
do support Latitude Dispensary and Vertical Cannabis Missouri. That is two companies that we do promote, the finest herb in the Midwest. If you're in Missouri or St. Louis, you go and you get your vertical cannabis at Latitude Dispensary, Lake of the Ozarks, or St. Louis, Missouri.
There you go. You guys are ever in
That's a
Missouri?
fucking.
Oh, that's a what?
Oh
I
man,
love
it's
this
gonna be a
guy.
nightmare.
They're like, and you're gone. See you later.
Mhm.
Stuff I'm smoking right now is from Latitude.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So there you go. They're all. I'm not gonna. Whatever. So, Augie, what are you gonna get at Texas Roadhouse?
What am I gonna get? What? I'm sorry.
What are you gonna get at Texas Roadhouse?
Well, I gotta run it through my Fat Secret app and see what I can get. I'm about 100 grams under my macros and protein, and about 40 grams under in fat, so I can eat pretty good, steak wise. So I don't know, probably just like a sweet potato with none of the good stuff, um, and whatever steak fits my Fat Secret.
That's probably one of the. That's probably one. What? Show you the what? Oh, the app. Show you the app.
Yeah, the
Oh
app. I gotta
gosh,
show Eric
he
the thing on the
he
app.
did not pronounce that. And I thought he said something. He's like, "Show me that." I was like,
Well,
but
I showed him the app earlier because I was using it and we were plugging our food in, and then he's like, "Oh, I need to do this," and and he put in like a specific diet on there, and I'm like, dude, don't do that shit. Let me show you how to fucking use this thing.
Yeah. I think it's one of the hardest things
He's like,
is
according to this,
going
I eat
to
1,200 calories a day.
yeah, well that too. But it's hard to go out to eat, and try to live an average lifestyle when you're so close to a fight, or even just in a sense of training camp. Especially when you have such an important fight of like, man, I can only eat this, I can only eat that, I can't be peer pressured, or it's 100% mental game. And I think making weight, especially to most fighters, that could be wrong. At least for MMA, it is. But for most fighters, the biggest fight is the weight cut. After that, the fight itself is the easy part. It's just more your nerves.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like physically I'm ready. I've been talking to a few other guys of kind of about performing and executing when coming to performing. I think if you're really well trained and you train really hard with good people, when the moment comes that it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be easy. Fighting fucking sucks for everyone, but I think that you'll execute when the time comes. Ultimately, if you're trained properly. And I do believe in my training, but yeah, that weight cut is tough, and yeah, I'm not gonna get any of the what's it called, the cinnamon butter.
The good stuff. No, this is the
Yeah.
cinnamon buns
It's
and
my
rolls.
favorite part. I like to try to eat as many trays as possible whenever I go.
Well,
That's fair.
yeah, you're definitely not. You're not gonna be like Derek Lewis eating Imo's pizza, then, right?
Oh, dude, Emos is mid,
sorry,
bro.
Emos. I said it wrong. Fuck.
Emos, it's not good, bro. It's so overrated.
What?
It's good, but it's
It's
Nah.
not good, man.
No,
I'm
it's not,
disappointed.
Gabe.
That's a
I'm
hot
disappointed.
take. I'm not gonna lie to you. People from St. Louis are gonna get a little uptight about this.
I ain't crazy about
Okay,
But
there we go.
it's all right. St. Louis style is thin crust, but I'm
And
Italian.
greasy as hell.
Thick crust.
I like a nice tomatoey, like very strong tomatoey what sauce.
No, it's just great. It's just
Emos
Luke
is
is having
sweet. It has
Luke is
it has
having a breakdown.
sweet sauce. It has very sweet sauce. I like that hard, tangy tomato. I don't want the sweet with the like light cheese. No, it's not for me. I prefer a thick crust. I prefer like New York style, personally.
Okay, I just want to say.
What did I just say? I don't understand why
No,
you guys are laughing.
no. It was Eric. It was Eric. But I just want to say, I'm spoiled from Chicago.
Oh,
St.
man.
Louis. The only thing St. Louis
Oh.
knows that I had actually that's good
Man.
is barbecue. After that, dude,
Barbecue is fire.
Barbecue
The
is really
barbecue
good
here
in
is
St.
fire.
Louis.
Soul food is really good. You can get some good Asian food downtown. This sounds weird, but the Waffle Houses here like fire. They're just like they got a little extra of that like redneck.
You gotta,
it's good.
yeah, a little redneck. You got to fight automatically. You got dinner and a show. It's great.
Yeah, I know. I love that place. But yeah, they got some. I mean, we got some good different little things. But yeah, I mean, I prefer deep dish over like a thin crust.
Oh, you gotta
Well,
go
see,
deep dish, man. You gotta go deep dish.
Deep dish is good. Deep dish is good. I'm not at all like putting it down, but it's not Chicago pizza. Like it for sure is a staple.
No.
But we have tavern style pizza that is everyday pizza.
What is
deep
tavern
dish
style?
is
Like New York style?
No. New York style is like the long slice. It's thin. It's floppy. I actually don't like New York style, but I'm an asshole. But Chicago style is tavern style. That's the biggest thing. And we actually cut it into like little squares, so we have more slices for everybody.
Yeah,
more
but
bar,
what about
like bar style
Detroit?
pizza?
What about Detroit style?
What Detroit with their square pizza, and it's like poofy, and what is it called? Detroit style pizzas. Like people don't even know there is a Detroit style pizza.
No, I've heard of Detroit style.
It's got glass in it.
The only
There you
reason
go.
why the only reason why I know about it is because I basically live by a border town, so I don't know. I guess I should know about it.
Oh yeah, you're
Like I
close.
literally live on the other side of the border of Michigan, so I better know what's up.
Yeah, that's true.
But anything else from you, Luke? What are we whispering over there, Gabe and Eric?
Fucking celebrity. Yeah.
Man, I don't know what was said in the back there, but it fucking made me die. I die laughing.
It's Eric. It's Eric. He's great. This is what we need to have, just Eric in the show.
Yeah, Eric would be a good guest, actually. I don't think you'd get any of your
He's
questions
actually a lot of
answered,
fun.
but it would be highly entertaining.
That's
I'll have to Shorty show and the Eric show.
Oh no, that is actually, oh god.
Shorty and the Big Cat. That's got a ring to it.
Oh,
You
that
have to like
actually
host
Eric.
it though. Like you'd have to give him like, okay, here's the topic, here's what we're talking about, and just let him like give you takes on shit. Because like he's not
Okay,
gonna like be organized.
Luke doesn't know, so I'm pretty sure you've kind of naturally assumed, but Eric is a little special. And but with that being said, he is one of the nicest / funniest guys ever. You can have the longest but most random conversation with him about anything. And it goes on like 12 different topics in 5 minutes, and it's amazing. And I'm ADHD, so I just go with it. I feel like Theo
Oh, we
Vaughn when
both
he
are,
does his
man.
shows.
But here's the
It's
thing,
so much
Eric,
fun.
you can laugh and joke with Eric, and you can have like really like and like you can like interact like pretty, just like have fun with them. But like you can also have really deep intellectual
Mhm.
conversations with them as well, because he understands like emotions and like his own self more than most people really do. So he kind of can help push you in that way. So he's actually a really cool person to have around.
Yeah, he's a lot more sensitive
I
than you
love
would
it.
believe.
Yeah. The sensitive big cat.
He is a sensitive big cat. I just rub his belly. He's like, I miss Shorty. I love him. But Luke, do you have anything else for Mr. Augustine? Because I want him to be able to have some steak if he can.
Yes. No, go eat, man. And it's a pleasure having you on. This is fun. And this is episode 4, or the Shorty show. I don't know. It's just the Shorty
Dude,
show. There's no
thank you,
episode
thank
4.
you. You're
No, thank you both, gentlemen. It's this is fun. And Augie, probably last time I'm probably gonna talk to you in person before your fight. So good luck on June 21st, man.
definitely last
Thank you,
time we're
bro.
having you on
I
this show.
appreciate it.
No.
This is the last time I'm ever
No.
going to
Many
talk to you
more,
because
many
you're
more
going
is
to
gonna come.
die. No,
Oh my
no,
gosh.
thank you, Luke. I appreciate it, bro. I'm going to go out there and do my best. That's for sure. But yeah, man, thank you guys for having me on, Shorty. I love you. And yeah, this was fun. Lots of fun. Can't wait to come back on and talk to you guys after I get my UFC contract after this fight.
Love you, man. Wish you
There you
best of
go.
luck. Have fun in there. Have fun going to Canada. Tell Roman I hate him, and I'll let him punch me when we get back. I would say I'd beat him up, but dude, Roman's really good, and he
He's
just
hard to beat
dogged
up.
me the last time we sparred. Dude, he's really, really good. But with that being
Yeah.
said, you have a good corner. Have fun out there, and I'll definitely be staying tuned.
Yeah, bro, you already know. I'm gonna have to call you in these next couple of days, and we'll talk about a few different things, just like
Yeah.
details.
Have some
I
fun.
always come to you for everything. So yeah, but yeah, you already know. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys.
Take care, Augie. Luke, kick him out.